Hi all, this is Karthik here. You're watching Chasing Dreams Season 7 and Episode number 9. Hopefully, we are coming to the end of our sessions. And also, you guys are enjoying watching all these episodes. As well as if you want to hear it as a podcast, please do go to my Spotify account and you can see 50 plus episodes there. And also, if you wanted to see it in YouTube, you can go to itismekarthikofficial channel and you can start watching all the Chasing Dreams episodes there. And yes, for today's show, you have a very interesting personality from United States. So hopefully you guys will enjoy, and his story will inspire a lot of people out here. He's a climber, he's an NFL player, so already you guys would have seen the post. So we'll take it forward. We'll wait till our guest joins the show. Yes, by the time any questions, please do post it and we will get it answered. Yes, our guest has joined. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Is this orange background too
And
crazy?
no, it's perfect.
All right.
Yes, thanks. First of all, thanks a lot for coming to our show. It's an honor and pleasure to have you, and I'm so grateful that you came in.
Of course. Love to be here.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Thanks a lot. So to introduce Mark Pattinson on the show, he's actually we can talk about him a lot. So I'm going to concise it a bit and let you guys know what he does exactly. He's a speaker. He's an NFL player, former NFL player. He's a mountaineer and Sport Illustrated athlete, and he also he's a founder of $3 billion multi-million dollar business, and he's the first NFL player who would ever climb Everest in 2021. So that's his future project, and he has already summited six of the highest mountains in the world, and Everest is left. And he also does a lot of charity and making aware of people what's happening around, and he helps in all these aspects, and that's what we are going to see in the show. And thanks a lot, Mark, for coming onto the show.
Thank you so much, and that's a
Yeah.
great intro. Thank you so much, and you summed up a lot of things, and I look back on my life, and it seems like it's been a flash, but like everything, it's a journey. You don't get to the top in just one step, and
Yes.
that's the whole key to success.
Exactly. So we would like to know and get knowledge out of you from this uh, session, I guess, because there's a lot to learn, and I'm actually excited, and hopefully it turns out to be excited as well. Okay, the first one is to start off with. You have come across a lot of things in life, and we could see you have learned a lot in this life. So, at the first, who were you as a person in your childhood?
What about my childhood? I'm sorry.
Who were you as a person in your childhood?
Who was, I was always born with a competitive spirit. I was always one of those guys that had a ball in my hand. I
Okay,
felt like, as it related to American football, I was born with that hand, with the football. Everything came very natural to me. I
okay,
happened to be very blessed to be kind of the fastest kid on the block and in the neighborhood. And I started playing and started excelling, and things really came together for me in high school.
okay,
And in high school, I was very blessed to be with some other talented teammates, and we did well enough to get attention from colleges. But the one thing I didn't have, I had the competitive spirit of being a kid playing, so that was good. But I didn't really understand what it took to be great, and that really didn't come along really till my first year of college, when I had never done anything. I could just show up and be the best guy on the field. And then all of a sudden I show up in college. I hadn't done anything for preparation, and I just got my ass kicked. I mean, seriously, got my ass kicked. And
So
I
how
looked at
was
these.
that when you got your ass kicked? How did you feel? Because you were the top kid at whatever you did, right? So it would
Yeah.
have hurt you a lot.
Yeah, that was a huge ego adjustment. And, there was really a moment of truth for me of, am I going to quit, take door A, or go to door B and stick it out? And the thing about that was that the coaches had provided a roadmap for me. Like, if I want to be potentially good or great, these are the things I need to do. And when you make that type of commitment, and I didn't see the field for 3 years, so that's a long time. And you don't know what's going to happen. And so, even though I made the commitment, it was full of uncertainty. But all I did is every single day, I had certain things that I had to do. One,
Okay.
two, three, four, lift the weights, do good in school, learn my plays, study film, be a good teammate, do all these different things. And then one day, it's just like years later, when you do all those different things and you become a better player, and now I'm bigger, faster, stronger, and more confident, then we enter into this big nationally televised game, and I get my number called to go out there, and I end up, scoring a touchdown in the last second, and on Sports Illustrated, and it was an amazing moment. And a lot of people came up to me afterwards and said, "Mark, you're so lucky," and I was just like, "You have no idea what I had to go through to get to this moment, and I'm not lucky." I've played that play over a million times in my mind, and so I was ready for that moment. But you can't be ready for that moment if you don't do the work.
Exactly. So people from outside think, like, obviously, as you told, people are lucky, so they are up there, and there is a lot of behind the scenes experiences and struggles that happen along the way. So, Marthu, how many teams have you played NFL with or for?
Well, in the United States, typically you go to college, which is 4 or 5 years, and you
Yeah.
kind of, get bigger and stronger. And then from there, you hopefully, knock on wood, you get drafted into the NFL. I played for 3 different teams. I was drafted by the LA Raiders. Now they're the Las Vegas Raiders. Forever, they're the Oakland Raiders. They've moved around a little bit. And then I was traded to the New Orleans Saints, and then ended my career with the Seattle Seahawks. So, I made my time around the NFL, and it was hard. It was competitive. And somebody said something the other day, another former NFL player, and what he said was so true, which is it's so hard. It's always been your dream to get drafted and make the team. That's goal number one. The second goal is just trying to stay there on top, because they're bringing in new players, they're trading for new guys, and it is a cutthroat business, and it's hard. It's really difficult. But anyways, somehow or another, I survived it for 5 years, and I learned a lot of lessons in life and through football, through sports, that I think have really set me up well for life after football.
Okay, awesome. So you told you have learned a lot. So don't tell us about the mountaineering aspect right now. So can you just tell what the NFL sport has taught you on the whole in life?
What's that? Can you repeat that one more time?
Okay. Right now, I don't want you to tell about the mountaineering aspect
Yeah,
of your
yeah, I
life.
got it. I got
Okay.
it. I got it.
NFL side, what did NFL teach you?
Yeah, great question. Probably more than anything, it taught me about the pyramid of success. Okay. And the pyramid of success basically are 25 different building blocks of individual and team goals. And at the very pinnacle is competitive greatness. And when you break down competitive greatness, which is like your championship, that's your pinnacle, you've won the deal, if
Yes.
you're in a company or something. But really, what that gets down to, the competitive greatness, is about really understanding and loving the process. And if you don't have a passion about what you're going to do, you will give up. I can guarantee you that. And that has had a crossover into business. It's had a crossover to me in this mountaineering stuff I'm doing now. But football taught me that, because it was
Yeah.
hard. It was hard. It was hard. It was hard. And to be successful, you couldn't worry about the end result. You just had to learn about being in the now and present, and what can you do today to get better for tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. That's nice to hear, and also that there is a lot of learning in your answer, I would say. So what happened and why did you quit
I think I got thrown out. I would like to say I would like to say that I retired, I guess, but really what
NFL?
happened is, my time came, and I was around 30 years old. I've been playing for a long time, and it was just like my time had come, and I had a great run. I did things that only less than 1% of the world gets to do, and I was so blessed. I was so fortunate. I was so grateful, but it was time to move on, and that's what I did. And it was hard. It was a hard adjustment. I mean, you see this so often where guys retire from competitive
Yes.
soccer or baseball or whatever the big sport is in your country, and you miss the guys, and you miss the camaraderie, and you miss the drive and having a place to go and all those things, and it all matters. And somehow or another, you have to figure out a way to replace that energy that you spent, pretty much all your life doing. And to all of a sudden do that one thing for so long and then it's cut off, it's a hard adjustment.
Yes, exactly. And also, you have been in the pinnacle of NFL. So, after that, how did you come into mountaineering, and what inspired you to come into mountaineering?
Well, it's an interesting question because there was actually quite a gap, between it wasn't I didn't go straight from playing in the NFL to Mountaineer, and there was a gap. But the consistent factor is at all these years that between when I started mountaineering, which is about 8, 9 years ago, to where we
Okay.
sit, the gap between football and mountaineering, I always kept in shape, right? I never stopped. And I think that's a big difference where most people, they stop their training. Now, I wasn't training like I was still playing in the NFL, but I was still every day going out, doing things, running up mountains, having fun. And that was really a way for me to deal with my stress, my anxiety. People do yoga or meditation, but that
Yeah.
was my meditation, right? To go out and go jogging or lift weights or something. And about 8 years ago, I was going through a very difficult personal time. My now ex didn't want to be married anymore, and so breaking up the family was really difficult. And so, I was down on my luck for a couple of years. It was very challenging. It was very tough, and I was just like, how am I going to get out of this thing? This is not life. This is not living. And so one day I was walking my chocolate lab around the block, and I just like had this moment where I stopped and it all came to me. It's like you like quit feeling sorry for yourself. You need to do something about this, but you need to set a big goal. And so you have something to shoot for to give you some positivity in your life, and then you need to go after it. And then once I kind of got that in my mind, then my wheels started turning about, how I don't want to just do something that everybody else can do. I want to do something that's special, that's great, that's phenomenal, that nobody else has done.
Yes.
And so then growing up in where I did in the United States, there's lots of mountains. And so I started thinking more and more about this. And it was just like, you know what? I'm going to do some research. I want to see if any NFL guys ever climbed the 7 summits in the world. And the answer was
Yes.
no. And so I said, you know what? That's what I'm going after. So
So
you
the
mentioned in the opening,
yes,
yeah. So
yes.
you mentioned in the opening that I've done 6 of the 7, which you're correct. But I've actually been on 2 of them. I've done Kilimanjaro twice, and I've been on Denali, which is up in Alaska, twice. And then this next year, obviously I was disappointed when COVID hit and it all fell apart. But I pushed it out to, as you mentioned, 2021. But not only am I going to go up and do Mount Everest, and I summit that. I'm going to come down to 26,000 feet, which is the death zone, which is Camp 4. And then I'm going to sleep 4 or 5 hours. And then I'm going to climb Lhotse, which is the fourth tallest mountain in the world,
Yes.
and then come down. And there's only a few people who have done that ever.
Yes, exactly. I am so thrilled for the adventure to see from your perspective. Yeah, actually, I am pumped up now, waiting. How are you going to take the journey and make it successfully done? And all the best for this, Mark.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about that because you asked a really interesting question earlier, and that was about my football days. Like, what did I learn, growing out and from my childhood? And
Yes.
again, going back to that pyramid of success, I've applied that to what I'm doing today. I moved my entire life from California to a little mountain town in Idaho called Sun Valley. I live at now 6,000 feet. I train going up the mountain. Last month, in the month of June, I did 53,000 vertical feet of
Oh my
climbing
God.
up and down, up and down. And this month, I'm on track to go probably 60,000. And then I always work out and do CrossFit in the morning. And so I'm taking myself to a place I've never been. I think visualization is a huge key to a lot of what you do. Um, I, 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 I wear a thing around my neck and on my wrist called, it's just believe, right? And
Okay.
so it's a
Yes.
constant. I have my goals written down in my bathroom. Every morning I wake up and I see, all these different things I'm trying to accomplish. I have a little home gym with COVID and everything. I created a home gym in my garage.
Okay.
And I've got in my tagline is, it takes a little more to make a champion, right? And then
Yes.
I've got the height of Mount Everest, 29,029 feet. I put it in stickers up on my west. So I'm watching this while I'm working out. I put 27,029 feet on the for Lhotse, which is the other mountain I'm going to take on.
Yes.
And so it's constant reminders. What's the goal? How are you going to get after it? And make sure you have that daily discipline to get out of bed when you don't want to and get your ass up that hill.
Oh my God. Actually, to say you have already attained a success, a huge success, and then working towards a goal this focused, it needs something else to put it out. And yes, we could relate. I guess right now after this session, I should do something from the like. I'd be like, Karthik, what the fuck are you doing, man? You are
That's
like,
awesome.
see how much effort he is putting. Like seriously, you have now just inspired me even more,
But
way
but
better
but
to do myself. Yes.
yeah, but I mean, let me tell it to you this way. When I was down in Antarctica, okay,
Okay.
and I'm down in Antarctica, and my tent mate was a guy by the name of Don Cash, okay,
Okay.
and this guy Don had climbed 5 or 6 of these mountains, and he was just it's like he wanted the T-shirt, and the T-shirt that he'd always wear said "epic shit," and it was stupid because he didn't put the work in, and he struggled on that mountain. And 6 months before that, we were on Denali together. I didn't know him at the time; he was climbing with somebody else, but he had to be flown off the top because he lost 3 fingers and part of his nose. And he was
Frostbite.
just a guy. He frostbite. He did not train. He didn't put the extra work into it. He wasn't fully committed. He wasn't all in. And then last year, when you remember, you saw those pictures of the lions going up the mountain.
Yes.
He
Yes.
was
Traffic.
the first. Yep, traffic. He was the first American to die up there. He struggled all the way up top, got to the top, put his hand in the air, fell over, died, and he's still up on top of Mount Everest. And
Oh.
these are the types. So when we're talking about going after a goal, and again, I talked earlier about competitive greatness, and competitive greatness is about loving the process. And if you don't love the process, then you're never going to make it. But you got to be have a passion because it's too easy to quit. So they're all connected. And he didn't have a passion because his passion was just getting a T-shirt and showing off to everybody what these great photographs on Instagram was going to look like. And in that case, what I'm doing, what he did, it's life or death. And so I take
Yes.
that very seriously about, what I'm about to take on so I don't end up in that position. And in fact, I'm going, like I said, I'm doubling down, but that also means I got to double down my commitment to get after it. Right?
Yes. Yes. Got it. Exactly. That's the difference between what you're passionate about and what you want to achieve realistically. And just for the name's sake, if he does, that's the end. We could conclude in that way. So let's go to another session. It's called the photo sessions. I'm going to put you through a memory journey, I would say. I will try to put you. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you a picture and let me know what exactly happened in that point of time and what was going through you.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
the first picture.
Yeah, that looks like Denali. So that's in North America. That's the highest peak in North America. It's a very difficult mountain. The picture that you're looking at right there is at 14,200 feet. And that is a wicked wall that the far
Yes.
hill that goes up. And we had a crazy situation. It took me two times to get up there. In 2017, it was brutal. It was minus 80 degrees at the top of the mountain. It was minus 40 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it was really
Okay.
cold. And so we had snowstorms, we had blizzards, and ultimately we didn't make it. But we climbed to the top of that ridge, and in order to get to that ridge, about midway up there, there's a massive crevasse that you have to climb over. One of the guys last year fell into it, um, but we were with this again. This ties back into not preparing in the right way, and we get to the top, and one of the guys in our party was from Taiwan, and again he hadn't trained very hard, and he wasn't prepared, and literally on his way down, he just laid down on that steep slope, and it's super steep. I mean, it's 40% grade,
Okay.
and he was just like, if we were to cut him loose on the rope from the very top, he would slide down and die easy, and he just wouldn't go any further. So he jeopardized all of us, and it was a tough situation, and I was pissed. But the following year, 2018, I went back again, had to do the whole thing. By the way, when you climb that mountain, you have to carry, again, I don't know the conversion here, but
Okay.
140 pounds. So almost probably as much as you weigh, I had to carry you up the mountain with all the gear that it takes to climb that mountain. So it's very difficult. There's
Oh
no
my God.
Sherpa. But
Okay,
anyways,
you did
I
it with
made it.
alpine style?
There's no Sherpa. You
Okay.
gotta do it all on your own. Yeah, you're
Okay.
carrying all your own stuff.
Own stuff.
Very
Okay.
difficult. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, and you
but we
achieved
made
it.
it. We achieved
Yeah.
it. I was on top June 6, 2018. It was a great moment.
Yes, I think you have even when noted down the date, so it's so important to you. You can relate it. And the next picture.
So I'm on Denali here again, and this is the 2000 again 2017. I was not successful.
Yes. Okay.
2018 I was, and I'm coming over the ridge, headed towards the top. I'm actually I think just below Camp 3, and the high camp is at 17,000 feet, and so anyways,
Yes.
it was an
Yes. I see.
incredible moment. I felt great. I knew we were going to make it. The weather was awesome, and it was a great feeling.
Okay. So the next picture.
Yeah, so now here we're down in Antarctica. It's a crazy place to be. You have to get there by flying through South America, down in Chile, at the point
Okay.
down. Yeah, there's um, just the whole channel. You have to get on a private charter to fly across. It's called Drake Passage. It's the craziest body of water anywhere in the world. Kind of rounds the point of South America, and it sits in between Antarctica and hopefully that dog's not going to bite you.
No, no, no. He's up
Uh,
there.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry
But
for the
anyways,
disturbance.
yeah, no, it's all good. But this picture, you're flying to a place called Union Glacier, and then you go to base camp, and this is base camp, and this is our picture. I think we had successfully made the peak, and now we're waiting to get on the plane to take us
Right.
out.
Okay.
And of
So
course, these
how was
planes land on the ice.
yes? So how was landing into Antarctica at first? It's like a dream come true moment for many out there. So how did you feel?
It was incredible, and it was incredible. And by the way, the plane that you go in is like an old Russian bomber, and so there's no windows. So
Okay.
you're inside this thing. So there's a screen that they have that you can see you as you approach, but you land on the ice, right? And you
Yes.
skid,
Yes.
and you finally come to a stop. And it's quite interesting how they've really created this whole makeshift village that's only operational for probably 3 or 4 months of the year. But of course, that's where the South Pole is. You can also go there. You
Yes.
can also go to where all the penguins like to hang out, on the coast.
Yes.
And in our case, we took a little plane and took us about 45 minutes to go to where the base of Vincent was. And that mountain was a lot of fun to do. We had great weather. It's super cold, but a lot of fun. And that was another successful. So I did that in January, like 19th, 2019.
Okay. So the next picture.
The next picture is I'm down in. This is my second time I've been on Mount Kilimanjaro, and I went down with an NFL group, very famous NFL players, and
Okay.
some military war heroes, and we were there to raise money for the people of the Maasai tribe out in the Serengeti who don't have water, and
Yes.
so we went. We raised. I personally raised $47,000 that went to fund our own well, my own well. And so one of the villages down there now has a full well working. And we went out to the wells. We visited them first before we took on that mountain. And it was a really rewarding trip, from the standpoint of helping people and giving back. And, again, going back to a question you asked before about getting into the mountains, by me stepping into the fear of not knowing anything really about mountain climbing, it's been amazing all the gifts that have come back my way.
Yes, awesome. That's nice to hear. And the next picture.
This picture is I am down in San Antonio,
Okay.
and my buddy there on the right, I guess the left, however you want to look at it, in the white shirt, is the
Yeah.
head coach for the UCLA Bruins. I had been invited to go down with the team, and I was on the field, and they won the game. It was a big game. It was a bowl game. It was at the end of the year around Christmas, and we had a blast, and it was a really fun time.
Okay. You are the champions, right?
Champions, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Actually, it's you in the suit, so the head is cropped. So what picture is this?
Well, my head's right here in the picture with the orange
Yeah.
background now. Yeah, those my day. Yeah, those my days. That's my other half of my business life, which we can talk about later if you want. But I rarely wear a suit now. I'm usually more in a t-shirt because I'm just dying to get my business stuff done so I can run out the door and run up that mountain.
Yes. So the next picture, you said you are happy about being a part of Sports Illustrated, right?
Yeah. No, this is another great story about though how all these things tie in for me. That I was part of a technology company group. There's 18 of us who started this company 3.5 years ago called Maven, and we started with nothing. We had no software. We knew what we were doing, but we had to build it all. We had no
Okay.
clients. We had nothing. And just again, going back to what I've done athletically, daily discipline. What can we do today to affect tomorrow? It all mattered. Fast forward the clock now, 3 years later, 3.5 years later, we took over Sports Illustrated. We took over, we run the back-end technology for the History Channel, the Biography Channel, Maxim Magazine. There's 300 different partners that we have. We have 165 million viewers per month that now come to all of our sites. And my particular focus is as an executive for Sports Illustrated. So that's where, it's a dream for me because I was actually either featured or was a part of or was in the pictures of Sports Illustrated when I was a kid. And I've been in Sports Illustrated 5 times now. And now to be a part of this iconic company is literally a dream come true.
That's so nice, and the journey that you have had is pretty amazing, and I don't think so many people could experience these different streams, and that's an amazing achievement that you have done. And yes, your photo session is over, Mark.
Hey, you know what though?
Yeah.
No, thank you for that, and I'm happy that I remembered all those photos, and they bring back great memories. But I think this is also really important because I don't see myself as special. I don't see myself as unique. I don't see any of those things. I'm just the guy that has put myself in a position every single time. I can guarantee. I'm not saying I'm the hardest working.
Okay.
What I am telling you is that there's nobody that works as hard as me. And that's the difference. Is this grind, and show up and be present and get the work done and do things that people don't expect that you're going to do, just because that's what's going to make you better. And those to me are some of the keys to success that have really helped propel me in life.
Yes, amazing. And to talk about a few other aspects right now, so we could get the journey that you have come across had a lot of difficulties, and also you put in the hard work to make it happen. So what difficulties that you have faced in the mountains, have you thought about, okay, let's quit mountaineering when it's so damn hard, and
Yeah.
like people who do mountaineering can understand, I guess, like climbing for that matter. We in all expeditions will come to a point like, oh my God, should I do this? It's so hard and all these. Have you got that moment in you?
Not really. And I mean, I've had a couple moments where when I first started off, I've had to learn a lot.
Okay.
And you know, I think struggle and pain is all part of the journey. And what I tend to think about more than the actual pain that I'm going through is think about 24, like say that you and I are in an expedition and we're in Europe and we're climbing. Well, I climbed in Russia in a
Okay.
mountain called Mount Elbrus, okay, highest mountain in Europe. And we got into this electrical storm and it was awful and you couldn't see and people were struggling and I was struggling. And what I kept thinking about is if I can just take another step, if I can just take another step, because 24 hours from now, I'm going to be back in the hut. I'm going to be drinking some good beverage, a beer or wine or something. We're going to be toasting. And how awful would it be that I'm the one who gave up just because it got a little hard? And I think those, again, are part of the lessons about, you know, like, my early college years of all the struggle I had to go through. And a lot of the struggle I went through with my marriage too, right?
Yes.
Of just
Yes.
like, this is an awful place to be, and how am I going to? I got to figure out how I just got to keep moving forward because quitting, it just can't be an option. Sometimes you have to like reset where you're going and take a detour, and that's cool. But in terms of the mountains, you got to know when to call it too. The first year of 2017 on Denali, it was awful to have to face the fact that I had to turn around and go back knowing that I was going to have
Mm.
to come back again next year and do the whole thing all over again. It was hard.
Yes.
It was awful. But now I sit on this side of the fence and say, you know what? I did go back. I did do it, and I'm so happy to say that I did it. I never have to do it again.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes. Yes. Your perspective has changed over the years and the amount of learning that you have got into it. And to talk about the climbs that you have done with not in the aspect of climbing, with the aspect of impacting the community around. So, with regards to the charity side of it, can you just explain what have you done? And as you said, you clean the waters in village in Kilimanjaro region. So,
yeah.
can you just put another few stories?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's two that jump out. Actually, there's three. The first year that I did this, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just stepping into the fear.
Okay.
I was still with my ex at the time and just trying to figure out how that was all going to go. But this was Mountain One. I was going to Kilimanjaro, and so I was living in Los Angeles at the time. And I just said, you know what? I'm doing this, and I don't know what this is all going to mean, but I'm going to throw out a little GoFund. It wasn't GoFundMe, but it was a fundraiser for the Boys and
Okay.
Girls Club in LA, and I knew some people that were in that organization, and I raised $10,000 just for going down and climbing this mountain. 100% of it went to the Boys and Girls Club. Zero went to me, but it was just a great step. I'm like, that was interesting. And then,
So how
uh,
it works is you fund your climbs and you go, and in the meantime, in the in between stage, you raise money for another
yeah, I say,
society,
look, I'm
right?
going to, yeah, I put it on social media and I was just like, hey, I'm going down to Kilimanjaro and I want to raise this amount of money for the Boys and Girls Club. And so, support them. And it's a
Okay.
way of my inspiration to keep me going because now I got to make it because you're
Yes.
supporting me indirectly, supporting me, emotionally while you're funding this Boys and Girls Club, you know. And
Awesome.
then,
Yes. So
yep, and then the next part of what happened was the Kilimanjaro again 4 years later, a couple years ago, when we raised the money for what is called Water Boys, but for the people of the Maasai tribe, and that was amazing. And then last year, my daughter has a condition of epilepsy, and so I put together a fundraiser it's at the big church here in Sun Valley, Idaho. We filled it up, 400 people, and I went around every weekend to ask donations from the ski shops, skis or ski passes or whatever it was, gloves, hats, all that stuff. And so we had a little bit of a raffle, and the goal was to raise the height of Mount Everest, which is $29,029.
Yes.
And I had a bunch of speakers. It was really dynamic, and it was held January 3rd of this year, and we raised all the money. It was incredible.
Yes, and also her project is climbing Lhotse, right?
No, this next year,
Okay.
I changed. I have to reinvent myself because COVID hit, right? So
Okay.
we raised it this last year, early this year, thinking that I was going to Everest. So that didn't happen. So I need to reset a new goal. So I've partnered with a new charity organization called Higher Ground, and we're calling this one Amelia's Everest the Lhotse Challenge, meaning the two mountains that I told you that I'm
Okay.
adding another, right? So that's the
Yes.
tie.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Just wanted to clarify on this aspect.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, with regards to all these adventures that you come across, we got you, like, you push yourself so much and make physical efforts to make it happen and train absolutely 110% for the event that you go for. So how do you train your mind and mental strengthness?
For me, I believe that mental strength comes from physical power. And the
Okay.
only way you can get physical power is by physically going up and down the mountain. Uh, Yesterday was awful. I climbed 3,000 feet. Uh, it was almost 100 degrees, and I was tired. I didn't feel like it, but I knew I had to do it because it's putting chips in the bank. And
Yes.
because I did that, and my mind was telling me not to do that. My mind was telling me to sit on the couch or take a nap,
Mm.
but because my body is trained to keep going and go, it strengthens my mind to create a strong mind, body, and soul.
Exactly. Push your physical strength, automatically mental strength comes into play,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes. So I have probed you a couple of questions right now, I guess. So let's make it a little bit a chill kind of a session right now. Can you go for a rapid fire, Mark?
Fire away.
Yes, a session called rapid fire where I put you through a few questions, and I want you to answer what just comes to your mind at that point of time. Okay?
Yep.
Yes. So your unforgettable trip.
Antarctica.
Okay. Your inspiration in mountaineering.
Uh, Sir Hillary Edmond.
Okay. Your inspiration in NFL.
The inspiration to who?
NFL. In NFL.
NFL.
Yes.
Man, there's a lot of them. Uh, Joe Montana.
Okay. What are you feared of?
That I won't accomplish enough in my life.
Okay. Who is your favorite movie star?
I like watching Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yes. Then
Pretty
Mission
cool.
Impossible, right?
Yeah, maybe you can put me
Yeah.
in one of his movies, right?
Your favorite sportsman apart from NFL or mountaineering?
What about it?
Your favorite sportsman apart from NFL or
Oh.
mountaineering?
Larry Bird, basketball player.
Okay. One project that you wanted to do after completing Everest plus Lhotse.
I want to go to Papua New Guinea, and I'm going to climb a mountain called Carson's Pyramid.
Yes, yes, it's an absolute tripper, I guess. You would have all sorts of climbs there. I spoke to one of the guy who did it in the show. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I think you would enjoy a lot. So this question is a little bit tricky, I guess. Uh,
Okay.
who would you choose for you to be a climbing partner? I'll let you know three names. You must choose one for you
Okay.
as your climbing partner. Jimmy Chin, Conrad Anchor, Ed Webster.
Conrad Anchor.
Okay.
I've had Conrad on my podcast.
Sorry?
I've had Conrad on my podcast.
Okay. Oh, so he's your friend and I
A
guess
little
you
bit of
can
yeah, he's an acquaintance. Yeah.
Yes, okay. And also in this time I would like people to know he also runs a podcast called Living Your What's Your
No,
Summit,
finding
is
your
it?
summit. No,
Yes.
finding your summit. Finding your summit.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
It's
you
pretty.
can go and watch it in his website, and also a few episodes are in his Instagram as well. But you must just scroll down and see. So it's a nice show, and I have also watched it, and I enjoyed it personally. He brings in a lot of personalities who can make you to find your summit. And yes, the next question is: apart from being a human, fly, crawl, or being underwaters, which creature you want to be and what you want to do?
Which creature?
Yes, if you want to fly, you must say eagle or a
I want
sparrow
to be.
like that.
I want. No, I don't want to be a sparrow. I want to be an eagle.
Yes,
Powerful.
lion, soar above the skies.
I
Yes,
love a lion too,
clouds.
man. Yeah.
Yes, okay. What's your favorite mountain?
It's Mount Everest.
Okay, apart from Everest.
Apart Mount Rainier. It's my home state of
Okay.
Washington. Yeah.
Yes, it's in your backyard.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. Where are you broadcasting from right now? Where are you in the world?
From India,
Where part of India?
the southern part of India. It's
Okay.
called Tamil Nadu, Chennai.
Okay. Got lots of mountains in India, right?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, what we do is in southern part of India, there is only very less, and it's not that high. It's full of greenery kind of mountains here. But when you go to the north part, you have yes, exactly. You can just jump into the Himalayas, start climbing like
Yeah.
it's your backyard. But we must
Can't
be
wait.
prepared for it. Yeah. If you just come to India or Nepal, please do let me know. We will hop in for an expedition if it's possible.
Yeah.
It would be
Pakistan.
pleasure
Go to
climbing.
K. Yeah. Go to Pakistan and climb K2 with me.
Mark, you know how hard it is, and Indians are not allowed to climb Pakistan mountains as well, and it's in another league. Actually, Alan was here in our show, and a few other people who climbed K2 was here, and we spoke about how K2 is demanding, and all were like we had a Twinge Bindic here. He climbed all the 13 highest mountain in the world, and he told how hard is K2. Hopefully, I see you smashing K2 in the near future.
Well, I'm only going to worry about the first one in front of me, and that's Mount Everest.
Yes. Okay. Super. So I'm going to put you through. Uh, I'll give you each word, and you must say in a line what it means to you. Okay.
Got
Okay. Life,
everything.
dream,
Big.
success,
What did you say?
success.
Sexist?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Failures.
Wait, say that again.
Failures.
Failures. Part of life.
Okay, family.
Everything.
Yeah, awesome. So you're done your rapid fire now. Yeah. A few couple of questions with regards to we want to gain knowledge from you, so we want to ask in this aspect. What will you tell to people who are chasing their dreams?
Don't quit.
Okay, can you just elaborate a little bit more?
I mean, I don't think there's much more to elaborate on. I mean, most people quit, and that's when it gets hard, it's easy to dream up something. I mean, like my podcast, I've done 173 episodes in a row for, a couple years now. I've not missed a week, and now they're up around 80,000 downloads, and I have an audience over 450,000 people, and that's not the most and it's not the least, but most people, it gets hard. It gets hard to do these things like you're doing right now. And so again, you have to have a strong reason and why that you're not going to give up, you're not going to quit. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, it's that simple. At the end of the day, you either keep going or you quit.
Exactly. Okay. As we spoke about in the starting of our show, we spoke about tell us what has NFL taught you. So from that transition to what has mountain taught you in your life?
Well, I think part of this whole journey I've been on has been a journey of reinvention. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, right? Because something bad happens to them, you start feeling sorry for yourself, like I was going through. And then you're just like, that's it. And a lot of people just feel like that's where your cast in life is and you can't get out of it. And I'm not buying it, but nothing happens unless you put your own butt in gear and get out and try to change, whatever environment that you're in. It could be a relationship, it could be a career that you're in, it could be a challenge, a goal, or something like that you're trying to go after. But that's what I had to do, is seriously go and reinvent my whole life, and I did. I moved to a new area. I got divorced, unfortunately, and I have a wonderful girl now. I started climbing mountains around the world. I'm raising money to help people. We took over Sports Illustrated. There's all these new things. And if I hadn't taken some chances and stepped out there, it's really stepping into the fear to create, kind of a new existence for yourself, because you don't have all the answers.
Yes, absolutely. You put it beautifully across your whole journey in just a couple 20 seconds, I guess. Okay. 3 life lessons that you learned, 3 points, key points.
Well, again, I think it's it's never quit.
Okay.
It's understanding that it takes a little more to make a champion. I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And I think, more than anything, and this is the number one thing, is that you got to dream big. Nothing will ever happen if you don't think outside the box. Who would have thought? I had people coming up to me when I was, trying to play in the NFL. I had people when I was in college said I was a waste of a scholarship. I had people when I got drafted, they came up to me in my face and said, "You'll never make it," right? Mm-hmm. And you just gotta put away the negative noise and put positive messages into your mind. I do that with podcasts. I do that with talking with people like you, and I just do that with, generally speaking, hanging out with other positive people like me that are the similar mindset. And that's what really energizes me. But that's me. But I really believe that's universal for all folks, that if you want to go places, you can't have people get in your way.
Awesome. Yes, so the last question of the show is to rate your life. Yeah, you have made it. It's like a mountain and you have come this far right now.
I'm almost at the summit, man. I'm almost at the
summit. And returning back is mandatory, right?
Yeah, always.
Yes, so to rate your life from 1 to 10, how much would you rate with regards to the satisfaction level?
I think like a 7,
7, okay.
Yeah, and that's just because I can always improve. And think about it this way. Think about all the things that you've done in your life, and then think about all the things that you haven't done in your life. And even though I've done a couple cool things, the amount of stuff that I have not experienced, is massive. And so I just, the lesson for me more than anything is, and has been, set your goals, go after them, and then reset your goals, and then go after those, and then reset them again. And keep, you have to pivot, and you have to pivot, and you have to pivot. And that truly is the key, I think, to a successful life. And, since I haven't done all these other things I still want to do, it's like time is short, so I feel like I'm in a rush to get there. Yes,
absolutely. And this question is personally what I wanted to have a takeaway from you is you spoke about you being a guy with a little bit of ego and also have an attitude of being at the top. So how to have a healthy ego?
Well, Lou, we haven't talked about half my failures. That's a whole nother show. And so I think that's all part of being young and dumb and aggressive. And when you're 21, you think you know it all, and then you go through life lessons and you get hit, and then you come out of the NFL, nobody wants you, and then you go through all that, and then you start to build yourself and build some companies, and you start to get some confidence, and then you have to make another transition, and then life happens, and somebody doesn't want to be married to you anymore, and I got to deal with my
Yeah.
kids. I've got two daughters, right? I mean, I'm on a mountain, I get pushed back. I mean, it's just a constant, peaks and there's valleys, peaks and valleys, and just making sure that you're just constantly, going in that direction, and then you don't let those things that are valleys get you down.
Yes, so it's a journey to experience and learn it by ourselves to maintain that healthy ego, right?
There's always a lesson, man. There's always a
Yes.
lesson.
Yes, and thanks a lot for coming on to the show. We have concluded it, and it's an honor and pleasure to have you. As I said before, I personally enjoyed it and learned a lot of things from you. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you so much. And to all my people in the one country I've not been to, India, I got to make it down there.
Yes, please do, and
All right,
thank you.
buddy. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Okay, take care.
yes,
Bye bye.
take care. Bye bye. Good night for you.
Yep, absolutely. Off to bed.
Yes, bye bye. Yes, guys, I hope you guys watched Mark Pattinson's show, and his learning through life is one hell of a ride and a different experience. And from these personalities, I guess you can learn a lot of things and implement in your life, and that's what we have tried to pull off in the show. And thank you for people who have watched it, and thanks a lot for everybody. And keep chasing your dreams in the meantime, and watch the next episode very soon. Bye bye.